Have you ever felt too lazy to do something, even when you know you should? What if I told you laziness could be a sign of hidden intelligence? Let's talk about Ryan, a boy who was known for being the laziest in his village, but also surprisingly smart. He'd always find clever ways to avoid chores. Why do more when you can do less, right? That was Ryan's motto. But one day, everything changed. Ryan's father, the family's main provider, fell seriously ill. At the same time, the crops in their field failed due to neglect. Suddenly, the consequences of laziness weren't just about avoiding work. They were about survival. Seeing his family struggle, Ryan felt a powerful shift inside him. He knew he had to do something. Just then, news spread through the village. The king announced a grand competition with a huge prize, enough to save Ryan's family. While others laughed at the idea of a lazy boy competing, Ryan was determined. This was his chance. He wasn't just fighting for a prize, he was fighting for his family. The first challenge was to cross a wide, deep lake. Most contestants, strong and athletic, immediately dove into the cold water and started swimming. But Ryan, remembering his goal, thought differently. He looked around and saw fallen trees and vines. Instead of exhausting himself by swimming, he used his intelligence to build a simple raft. While the others struggled against the current, Ryan calmly paddled his way across, finishing in a surprising third place. The villagers who once mocked him now watched in silent disbelief. This first success boosted Ryan's confidence. He had proven that brain power could be just as effective as muscle power. He wasn't the strongest, but he was one of the smartest. This small victory taught him a valuable lesson. His unique way of thinking was a gift, not a flaw. He just needed the right reason to use it. Now, for the final round, the last challenge was to move a giant, heavy, square wooden block from one end of a field to the other. The other two finalists were huge, muscular men. They started pushing and pulling with all their might, sweating and grunting, but the block barely moved. It was a classic test of pure strength. Ryan looked at the square block, then at the finish line. He knew he couldn't win a battle of brute force, so he took out a small knife he carried. While the other two contestants continued their struggle, Ryan began to carve the sharp edges of the block. He carefully chipped away at the corners, slowly transforming the square into a rough circle. The crowd murmured, confused. What was he doing? Once he was done, he gave the now-round log a gentle push. It started to roll. With much less effort, Ryan rolled the log across the field, easily passing the exhausted men. He crossed the finish line first, winning the competition and the prize that would save his family. Ryan's story teaches us something important. Sometimes, people we call lazy are actually incredibly efficient thinkers. They're always looking for the easiest way to solve a problem. But intelligence without motivation is like a car without fuel. For Ryan, the love for his family was the fuel he needed. It ignited his potential and pushed him to overcome his laziness, turning his clever shortcuts into a path to victory. So, what's your motivation? What drives you to be the best version of yourself? Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story and want to see more inspiring content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you in the next video.